hospital that accepts Medicare patients, with no networks and virtually no referrals needed. So call now, request your free guide, and explore the range of AARP Medicare supplement plans.
65 may get all the attention, but now is a good time to start thinking about how you want things to be.
Go long.
Tomorrow, another day of severe thunderstorms, hail, wind, and even a chance of a tornado. We're tracking the worst weather on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ. We'll see you starting at 5 a.m.
Never mind.
New video of the flooding in Corpus Christi, Texas. The water covering the roads there, almost halfway up to tires on the cars parked in the street. And they've gotten 2.5 to 3 inches of rain in a short amount of time, just enough to send a trash can floating down the middle of the street. There are also reports of water flowing into a building there and power damage from the strong winds. They are also under a tornado watch until 5 o'clock Central Time. I'm here with Mark Elliott, our expert today. And you know, Mark, it's not surprising to see that kind of scene in Corpus Christi. We were watching that storm come in, a tremendous amount of lightning and some very strong winds with that.
Rainfall rates 1 to 2 inches per hour on top of the saturated grounds that they've had because of round after round of rain. And there could be more still to come. I mean, there is a tornado watch here, goes all the way through this evening until about 5 o'clock.
And that's not good. And now we're watching San Antonio as well. Another strong line of storms coming in through that area.
Yeah, really this whole zone today from Dallas near the warm front and the warm front extending over towards Shreveport. This area maybe later on today. Storms firing up in central Texas now. We had storms earlier today towards the coast. Those have now moved by. So basically all of Texas has that chance of seeing stormy weather. But near that warm front, you get that added spin. That's where the Torcon levels are elevated.
Right. And today we're looking at damaging winds and hail very likely setting up in San Antonio as well. And I mentioned that we have live radar of that to show you.
Yeah, we do. Let's there's the setup again. We'll jump down towards the San Antonio area because here's San Antonio just south of town. This right along I-37, Atascosa County until 3:15. Not only are we looking at extreme wind and heavy rain in here, Julie, but the lightning rate within this storm has absolutely exploded. I mean, look at that.
Wow.
We cover up the radar as this storm gets warned. Right about here, it just explodes with lightning.
That is incredibly dangerous, and so we hope everyone is taking heed of this and not out in it, as a lot of people this time, kids are getting out of school. It's a busy time out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And every lightning strike is severe, so it doesn't actually add into the severe warning from the National Weather Service. You have to take every storm seriously. Here's the I-20 corridor, Abilene right here. New storms firing up within just the past 20 minutes or so, already getting a severe thunderstorm warning heading towards I-20.
Okay.
Biggest threat there, wind and hail. And real quick, let's jump up towards the I-95 corridor up towards Philadelphia because those storms that rolled through here really packed a punch.
Incredible 71-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Philly.
And so now those winds are traveling along with this light rain. There's barely any lightning, a couple of bolts, but this wind is pushing its way towards the Jersey Shore, a brand new warning encompassing much of the Jersey Shore itself. Long Branch, Point Pleasant, Seaside, Toms River, right on down the Garden State Parkway.
We're starting to see some lightning show up in New York City as well. So I would imagine it's going to be fairly gusty for the New Yorkers as they are heading home for the evening rush also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably not good news for JFK and LaGuardia.
The delays are really mounting. We've seen delays 45 minutes to a little bit over an hour and a half now for the New York City airports.
Here we go. All right, and keep in mind, this is just round 1. We have at least 2 more to come. I know, Vivian, you are tracking the timing and the threat of this severe that extends right through the end of the week.
We are watching this area very carefully now. The threat extends, as Julie and Mark mentioned, through the end of the week. So we have been watching this region. In fact, on Friday, the conditions are just as favorable for severe storms, as our severe weather expert has boosted the numbers in terms of the Torcon values. Torcon, short for tornado conditions. And we talk about these numbers now on the scale of 0 to 10, with 10, of course, being 100% chance of tornadoes. You just multiply the number. If you have a value that's given for your city, like if you're in Wichita, Kansas, your Torcon value is 5. That means a 50% chance of tornadoes. This, of course, being on Friday evening, and much of the same in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, and even Shreveport. We're watching you today for possible thunderstorms. Shreveport right on into Friday. More thunderstorms with tornadic activity possible. The upper air setup is the same, so we'll flow those strong upper level winds conditions right overhead, increasing the chance of tornadoes.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 71. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early. Low 72. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Bracing for more severe weather over parts of the South. On the right screen, you can see that's Dallas. We have partly sunny conditions right now, but the atmosphere is kind of deceiving because this picture shows a fair day, but the atmosphere is definitely becoming a little more stirred up for the chance of storms later on.
And we've seen some very strong winds come through Philly within the last hour. At the airport, there's 71-mile-per-hour wind gusts along a cold front that's pushing into that area. And now we have a severe thunderstorm warning along the Jersey Shore. So we have active severe weather everywhere.
All right. And we thank you so much for joining us because we are here, of course, keeping you covered on Weather Center Live, of course, on the Weather Channel. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Julie Martin. You know, we're extending our live programming deep into tonight. We want to keep you ahead of the dangerous severe weather. And there's quite a bit to talk about. A lot of very highly populated areas here across Texas, including Dallas and Houston, Corpus Christi, where we've already seen a strong storm come through. Shreveport, Louisiana, we're talking about damaging winds, hail, lightning, and possibly tornadoes.
And talk about Corpus Christi. Now, we've had anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches of rain recently in the area. That has led to scenes like this. Water covering the road. Again, anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches have fallen. And you can see, you can't even see where that sidewalk is going. Some folks trying to navigate through the floodwaters, but this is something we ask you not to do if you cannot see the lines in the road. That should be kind of your criteria or your breaking point. If you can't see the line, then just go a different route because you really don't know if you'll be able to cross successfully.
That's right. Also reported there some damage to power lines from strong winds. We've had a tremendous amount of lightning in this area as well. And the ground is extremely saturated. We had a lot of rain there last week as well. So any more that we're adding to this is not good news. Also a tornado watch there until 5 o'clock. Local time. For the very latest expertise, we want to get over to Mark Elliott with Dr. Greg Forbes now in the lab. And there's a lot to talk about, not just today, but for the next 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been watching this line of storms move through Philadelphia, New Jersey, now into New York City.
Yeah, and it actually has picked up its lightning coverage with that. So what previously it was a little bit hard to call severe thunderstorms, now at least there are thunderstorms, and they certainly are packing the threat for damaging winds over 50 miles per hour. At Philadelphia International Airport measured 71 miles per hour. Look at this, the brand new tornado, severe thunderstorm warning for New York City, Nassau, Queens, Suffolk counties. So expect damaging winds there.
Yeah, this will be riding right down the LIE. Very gusty winds will be pushing even a little bit out ahead of the rain itself, Dr. Forbes.
Yeah, and I would expect these winds to be from the west. So the north-south parkways and roads for some of those high-profile vehicles, that is going to be a real problem. And of course, if you get one of them turned over, then that snarls the entire traffic system. And air traffic, it's already snarled with big delays.
And that includes the Garden State Parkway, where the other warning from this line of storms is hanging out, moving right over that north-south road with a blast of west winds coming at those high-profile vehicles.
Yeah, indeed. Now, probably about an hour from now, these storms will be offshore of New Jersey within a half hour to an hour. Some question about how long they'll persist going out as they begin to draw in cooler air out over Long Island. But for now, we certainly have that wind threat. And
it's an interesting setup today.
Yeah, it's a different mixture of ingredients. In this case, we have a pretty strong upper air disturbance. You can see it revolving about the southeast side of this big upper low that's just to the north of the Great Lakes there. But it started out pretty cool at Philadelphia when they had that strong gust develop. 65 degrees, not overly warm. Dew point, though, 42 degrees. Now, that's pretty low. Typically, I think 52 is what we need. And so this was 10 degrees below that. That meant the relative humidity was pretty low. As soon as it began to rain into that dry air below cloud base, it cooled the air. A big bubble of cold, dense air came to the ground, and up where the storm downdraft came from, the winds were gusting over 50 miles per hour. So that brought those strong winds and continues to do so, bringing those strong gusts down to the ground.
So we saw that around Philadelphia, the airport officially 71 miles per hour, just northeast of there 48 miles per hour, and these are the types of winds that are rolling towards the Jersey Shore and even towards the New York City area. Of course, it's not the only area that we're watching today, Dr. Forbes.
No, indeed, and as we get later into the evening here, the coverage of storms down in the Texas area in particular will increase. We've had this tornado watch that's been in effect for basically one storm that had rolled through the Corpus Christi area. New storms now are beginning up in the San Antonio area, and a brand new tornado watch now where the main event is going to get started up along a stationary frontal zone that goes from the Texas Panhandle down just south of the Red River there in northern parts of Texas.
Of course, including Amarillo, Lubbock, Wichita Falls, Abilene. We had some severe storms working towards the Abilene area, and the visible satellite tells this story. We've got two different areas of concern. All this moisture in the low-level jet here in South Texas, but a boundary that's draped across the North Texas, maybe southern Oklahoma area, and that's where storms are going to kind of ride along for the rest of the day.
Yeah, indeed, that boundary sits something like that at the surface. Aloft, we have a very strong high-level jet stream that's blasting across here. In fact, you can see its northern edge. That's these wispy clouds, and so the southern half of Texas has very strong winds aloft, not so much of any kind of frontal zones that are involved. We're just slightly to the north of the axis. That means northern Texas is cold aloft while we still have some pretty warm air at low levels, and so that is adding to the instability. And even the dry line today is even back in eastern New Mexico, so the storms are firing up there. They'll likely, and maybe by later this evening, form a bow echoes that will roll over into overnight or late this evening into Louisiana as well.
It's spending a little bit of time, so there's that setup map again, but jumping right on down towards that San Antonio area, because this storm does still have a severe thunderstorm warning. It is along I-37, and the lightning coverage here is just incredible.
And we'll continue to monitor that when it does have that appendage coming down the south side, so that if we were to get a tornado, that would be where it would develop.
Yeah, lightning strikes, every single one of those could be severe. And so, Viv, we're watching a large portion of the southern plains and the northeast corridor today. Over to you.
Oh, yes, we are. Thanks very much, Mark and Dr. Forbes. But as you mentioned, we're watching two different areas. The good thing about the northeast, those storms will be moving out later on. But unfortunately, it's a 3-day event here across the southern plains, including Texas, Oklahoma, into Louisiana. Dallas, we are watching you, like a fine-tooth comb here, as we have a 40% chance of tornadoes as we progress deeper into the evening hours. So heads up for you in the Big D. The same over to Shreveport, Louisiana, as we're watching for a 30% chance of thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes later on this evening. So again, we have been scanning the radar all day, and of course we will continue to do this for you. Here's a look now at the Oklahoma City area, the forecast for you. Thunderstorms throughout the evening hours, and the rain will continue, we think, right on into the wee hours of the morning. We want to keep you updated on the severe weather of the Northeast. New York City, severe thunderstorm warning.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this
Allstate Safe Driving bonus check?
Who's that?
So weird, right? My agent Tom said
Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
But I'm a woman. Maybe it's a misprint. Does it look like a misprint?
Okay, let's try.
Silence. Ask an Allstate agent about the Safe Driving bonus check. Are you in good hands?
We used to have so many empty rolls.
Mom!
That's why we switched to Charmin Ultra Mega Roll.
Charmin Ultra Mega Roll is 75% more absorbent, so you can use less with every go. Plus, it even lasts longer than the leading 1000 sheet brand.
Charmin Ultra Mega Roll.
Constipated? Dunkel-X tablets can cause cramps, but not Philips. It has magnesium and works more naturally than Stimulant-X does for gentle, cramp-free relief of occasional constipation.
That works.
Mm-hmm. Live the regular life. Philips.
There was a time when the sea gave way to the sky, raising an amazing destination like no other. Atlantis. Book now and receive a $250 airfare credit, plus a free shallow water dolphin interaction. Hurry, offer ends soon. Visit AtlantisBahamas.com.
So much food is going to waste.
How much of it is still good, and can I eat it?
The challenge to survive for 6 months only on food destined for the dumpster.
The scale is pretty shocking.
Following the film, join Tom Colicchio to learn how together we can stop the waste. Just Eat It, tonight at 10 on MSNBC.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 71. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early. Low 72. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Look! This is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. That noise! Panera Broth Bowl should be slurped with gusto. To explore further, order online or visit your neighborhood Panera Bread.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
I don't know what I should do next.
Do what everybody else does. Start a business. Build yourself a website.
Welcome to T.O.'s Humble Pie.
With Wix.com.
Let's party!
We make it easy to create your own all-pro website. All by yourself.
Farve and carve.
You did that yourself?
Don't look so surprised.
Go to Wix.com. Create your website today.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where we have been following a line of showers that have been producing severe winds, including into the New York City area. Here is a live view of New York City, where the raindrops are on the lens, and you can see the buildings now. Visibility has come up dramatically now that some of the heaviest shower activity has moved on by. That said, there could still be a lot of wind. The Jersey Shore, much of Long Island, potentially further north in the Northeast Corridor. The newest warning out for this area is a severe thunderstorm warning. It does include just outside the New York area, but much of Long Island is now included. You get into Queens and Suffolk, that's where we are seeing this severe thunderstorm warning now. Goes until 4:45, and far and away the biggest threat here is the wind, although we do have now at least a few lightning strikes within this zone. Before, when this storm was a little bit further south, we had almost no lightning strikes at all. Much of the Jersey Shore, from Long Branch all the way down through Toms River, through Bay Head, you are seeing severe weather in the form of winds. This is not the time to be out on the beach, that's for sure. Down the shore is getting shellacked with just extreme winds moving on through. And extreme South Jersey towards Cape May, and then over into Delaware, Kent and Sussex County there. You too under severe thunderstorm warnings. Notice down here, almost no rain, much less no lightning. This is still very gusty winds moving through. In fact, Some of these winds have been very impressive. Talk about what's already occurred at the Philadelphia airport. 71-mile-per-hour winds were recorded when these storms came on through. The Trenton airport had 52-mile-per-hour winds, and those winds are continuing to move on off towards the east. Turnersville had reported 60-mile-per-hour winds. Winds are gusting now in Atlantic City, upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour. Officially 32 at the airport, a couple of gusts higher than that in the past couple of minutes. New York City, as those storms came through, gusting to 32 miles per hour. So this is that line of showers, a couple of lightning bolts certainly possible, a lot of gusty winds as these things move through. And here's why. It was actually a very dry scenario today. You see these kind of bronze colors and deep grays. That's what started the morning. Just a shower or two allowed that moisture in the air to evaporate, cooling down the air and sending it as a bubble of cool air that's heavier and denser, just plunging towards the ground. When it hits the ground, it spreads out, keeping some of that forward movement. So, Viv, it's not, and Julie, it's not impossible for some of these storms to also pick up some of that same scenario. We'll have to watch winds moving through southern New England as we go through the rest of the day. Over to you guys.
All right, Mark, and we're also keeping our eye on Texas and the southern plains. This is a multi-day storm threat, and that includes tomorrow as well. This is the setup. We have increasing moisture from the Gulf, the southern branch of the jet stream, some upper level support, but we also have a stationary front that's adding to the mix. So these ingredients all coming together, and that will be the case for tomorrow, very similar to today. We're looking at a wide area in terms of severe weather tomorrow, from San Antonio to Dallas, Corpus Christi to Houston, Baton Rouge to New Orleans, and we're talking about hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes. In fact, our Torcon now a 4 for north central and east central Texas for Thursday, tomorrow. We have another day coming on Friday as well. Taking a look at future radar, you'll notice some storms bubbling through Dallas as we move into the overnight hours, and still some other storms off to your southwest of Dallas and north of San Antonio, even as we hit Friday morning. And as I mentioned, Friday is going to be another very busy day as well. So our Torcon for Waco, Texas looks like this. We've got a 3 for you. Storms firing up late tomorrow night. Hail and damaging winds very likely, and can't rule out an isolated tornado for you in Waco. Also taking a look tomorrow at Dallas. We're looking at a 4 out of 10, 4 to 11 p.m. 4 to 11 p.m. for Waco as well. And Wichita Falls, you're in the line as well.
All right, speaking of Texas, a newly issued severe weather watch, and this too is a tornado watch over the panhandle of Texas. It is out until 10 o'clock local time. We have it for you graphically because we've been following this. There you have it. It includes the Amarillo area, Lubbock, and some parts now of the western areas of the Red River Valley. We also have a tornado watch down across the south, including Corpus Christi. That is out until 5 local time as we watch this cluster of storms move east from San Antonio.
Constipated? Dunkel-X tablets can cause cramps, but not Phillips. It has magnesium and works more naturally than stimulant laxatives for gentle cramp-free relief of occasional constipation.
That works.
Live the regular life. Phillips.
My husband said, "You're beautiful and I love you, but I'm worried about your health and your weight. I'm worried we're going to lose you." That was my moment.
When your moment comes, you can count, track, and worry over every meal. Or you can lose weight simply with Jenny Craig.
Just walk in or call. Meet your own personal consultant who will help turn your moment into the best summer ever. Pick from our all-new spring menu and start losing now. Don't wait. Join free plus $50 in food savings.
A moment can change your whole life with Jenny Craig.
People want to know, why has my high-efficiency washer been saying 7 more minutes for 25 minutes? The problem may not be with your machine, but with your HE detergent. All HE detergents are not created equally. Look, this detergent says it's made for high-efficiency washers, but look at all these suds that your machine needs to rinse. That means more time. Fact is, the wrong detergent can add up to 25 minutes to your wash cycle. It can waste water too, up to 10 extra gallons. So what's the answer? Introducing new Tide HE Turbo with quick collapsing Smart Suds. Smart Suds means a more efficient rinse cycle, saving time and water. Look at the difference. And Tide delivers 6 times the cleaning power. Put Tide HE Turbo to work for you. It helps save time and helps save water with 6 times the cleaning power. Get a money-saving coupon for new Tide HE Turbo at Tide.com. Now you can turn laundry time into turbo time.
Then you can ask me for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low. 2 weeks later, look, Credit Karma.
Oh, are you talking to websites again?
It's saying free credit score.
Credit Karma? Yeah.
It's actually free. Look, you don't have to put in your credit card information. Credit Karma, really free credit scores.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Want a seat in every stadium in the league? MLB Extra Innings and Xfinity from Comcast put you in the front row for your favorite team wherever you live. With up to 80 out-of-market games a week, you can watch the games you want to watch all season long. Plus, with the X1 Sports app, you can get live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order MLB Extra Innings right now for just 4 easy payments of $49.75 each. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com/sports today.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over the counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early, low 72. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hey there, you're watching Weather Center Live. We're looking live into New York City. The streets are wet, right? But it is temporarily not raining in New York City. There's a second round of rain that's coming on through, but nothing like the first round, that's for sure. Not only did showers come through New York City, but they brought some extremely strong winds. A very interesting setup across the Northeast corridor, and we are still following this line of storms. Now, here's some of the good news. A lot of those warnings, the severe thunderstorm warnings, have been being dropped now by the National Weather Service offices. There's still a hefty amount of rain moving through Long Island, right on down the LIE, 495. I would not want to be necessarily driving this road right now. It is a white knuckle ride. That said, a lot of the winds are moving in west to east, so it's the north-south roads that you have to be more concerned about with regards to the high-profile vehicles. Sure, there's a couple of lightning bolts in here, but overall, this is a garden variety thunderstorm in some modestly dry air. We really don't have the typical setup for extreme storms in the Northeast today. The Garden State Parkway as well as the Jersey Shore, your warning has now expired as well. All of those winds are now off the coast, where we do have small craft advisories being put into place because of extremely gusty winds that are moving along with these showers. You're looking live on the left side of your screen towards some of those beaches. I believe that's Atlantic City. And yeah, down towards Atlantic City, your showers are just about done. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning towards Cape May and then into southern Delaware. You notice there's almost no rain on the radar here. We've got plenty of wind still with this line of showers, but we don't have a lot of rain. We don't have a lot of lightning. We don't have thus any thunder. So you might be asking, how in the world are we getting severe thunderstorms across this area? And especially, how are we getting reports of wind like this? Philadelphia, you gusted to 71 miles per hour. Trenton, 52 miles per hour. Turnersville, 60, when these basically garden variety showers came through. So here's how this works. We have a very dry air that's in place across this region. And even though New York City still says 32, so does Atlantic City, these winds are going to turn into more like these before too much longer, generally 10 to 15 miles per hour winds. But that dry air is in place here across the northeast. And we've been following basically this big trough in the east, allowing for cooler, drier air to set up shop. You notice these kind of grays and bronzes. That's how you started your day around New York. So as soon as you got a little bit of shower activity, that rain didn't reach the ground at first. It was evaporating in this very dry air. And that evaporation kicked off an event known as evaporational cooling. It cooled the air around it, which then became heavier and denser and started to sink, picking up speed as it sank and got cooler and cooler. And the raindrops themselves actually helped push that air down towards the ground. So once it hit the ground, it spread out. And it spread out in the direction that these light showers were moving, which was west to east. So along this line of showers, we still have some very gusty winds from Delaware off the Jersey Shore, central Long Island. You're next, potentially some gusty winds moving towards I-95 in Connecticut. We'll be watching this area carefully through the rest of the day. Viv, over to you.
All right, Mark, thanks. From the northeast, stormy weather pattern to parts of the southern plains, including Austin, Texas. We have temperatures right now, by the way, in the middle 70s, Austin, but dew points are in the upper 60s. So the stage is set. Atmosphere today. Thunderstorms are in the forecast, but look at this. This is Friday's forecast. Austin will continue to watch you right on through the end of the week. Much of Texas into Oklahoma and Kansas. In fact, not only are we talking about hailstones, high winds, and locally heavy rain, but the threat of tornadoes on Friday. As you can see in Wichita, Kansas, a 50% chance of tornadoes, because whenever you see the Torcon value, Torcon short for tornado conditions, and the value, the numbers are given on the scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the greatest chance, 100% chance of tornadoes. So 5, that means a 50% chance on Friday in Wichita, Kansas. Tulsa, a 50% chance on Friday, and a 40% chance of tornadoes in Shreveport, Louisiana, right on through the end of the week. Again, the atmosphere will still be conducive for the severe weather and tornadoes, and we'll be here watching it for you.
Living longer. It's on the mind of every pet parent. And what we feed them matters. At Petco, pets are our sole focus. We handpick a unique selection of food to meet our high standards. Because when we feed them better, our companions thrive. Petco.
Look like this, feel like this. Look like this, feel like this. With DreamWalk insoles, turn shoes that can be a pain into comfortable ones. Their soft cushioning support means you can look like this and feel like this. DreamWalk.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. And then it was silent.
This was it.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early, low 72. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow, another day of severe thunderstorms, hail, wind, and even a chance of a tornado. We're tracking the worst weather on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ. We'll see you starting at 5 a.m.
And we're watching New York City because we've been dealing with some storms moving through the region. Right now, just a little bit of light rain and some of the heavier storms off to the east as we look at the radar and these live shots out of the New York City area. Skies are gray, but rightfully so.
Yeah, a lot of delays at the area airports because of these storms that have moved on through. 275 flights in both the New York airports and down through Philadelphia have been delayed now.
Yeah, we've been watching a pretty potent cold front move through the area and very, very gusty winds with some of these storms.
A very interesting setup because really these aren't the biggest storms we've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination. It was a very dry start to the day, not a lot of moisture for these things to work with. So we had a couple of lightning bolts. The severe thunderstorm warnings have expired, but as the air moistened up and started to evaporate some of these showers, we were getting some pretty intense winds all the way down from aloft, pushed down to the surface. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for another minute or two from Cape May down through southern Jello, and there it goes. So a lot of these winds are now moving off the coast and should be the end of this story for the rest of the day. That said, look at what happened so far.
Take a look at the airport, Philadelphia, 71.
Yeah, and then Turnersville also had 60-mile-per-hour winds, so that kind of transition towards the east continued, and that's why they were still warning towards the Jersey Shore. Now it's moved by. Again, it was a dry pattern today. Here's a look at the water vapor aloft. You have that big trough of low pressure, but we can also follow this all the way back down to the next area of concern.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Improving conditions eventually over the northeast, but it's going to take some time over the southern plains.
We've got days of a very similar setup to what we had last week across the south. Low-level moisture feeding on in. We've got a jet stream cutting across the area and a warm front. That'll be the focal point for some twisting and turning as we go through the rest of the day. With that said, we could see some more severe weather across this area today.
Yes, it's like all of those ingredients coming together, setting the stage for the strong and even severe storms. And today, when we mention severe, we're including the threat of tornadoes.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we have tornado watches that are up, Viv, in South Texas at this point.
Now, this one is out until 5 o'clock. It does include the Corpus Christi area. It does not include San Antonio, even though we've had some storms around San Antonio.
And our newest watch is actually from I-20 north, so Abilene, Wichita Falls, Amarillo, Lubbock, all under this tornado watch. This goes well into the evening until about 10 o'clock, and it's not out of the question that some of these storms will organize and head towards the Dallas area before the day is done, but a lot of these will be overnight.
All right, that is what we're thinking, but let's hone in a little closer on that tornado watch where a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued here.
Yeah, here's here's Amarillo and the counties just off to the south and west. This is Deaf Smith County. A severe thunderstorm warning here goes until 4 o'clock. A pretty good hail core being indicated across this area with this storm. The hail and wind will be the biggest threats. You can just feel it kind of churning and bubbling as it exploded very quickly over Deaf Smith County.
Yeah, hail and wind, the biggest threat here, but we cannot rule out a tornado because you're still under that tornado watch in that area.
And then down towards Coleman County, here's Abilene and the I-20 corridor, kind of just south of that tornado watch. We've got storms erupting now. These are going to try to move towards that unstable air and tie into some of that twisting and turning closer to the warm front as we go into the end of the day.
And we saw some dangerous lightning strikes with that little cluster of storms as well.
Speaking of lightning, an intense storm came through San Antonio and the points just south. Still, when you put the lightning on, it covers up the radar almost completely. A very impressive storm here.
Okay, if you're down there near the Kennedy area, then please be on the lookout because, quite frankly, all you need is one lightning strike. But you talk about over 800, almost 900 lightning strikes, and this is every 15 minutes.
Yeah, every lightning strike is severe. So almost 900 strikes in 15 minutes moving towards the Kennedy area over just a couple of counties here. This isn't the biggest area we've ever seen for a lightning query like this, and 900 strikes is a good deal. It's a good number of them in just 15 minutes.
The skies are very threatening in the area. Let's take you to southern Arkansas because we've been watching this cluster too.
Also tied to the same pattern, right? The warm front drapes across the northern Texas and southern Oklahoma towards Arkansas. And riding along that front is this storm that's been pushing out of Texarkana towards El Dorado. Union County still a severe thunderstorm warning until 4 o'clock. Hail and wind the biggest threat with this. We're not seeing any real clear rotation, although this is a concern as we go into the rest of the day.
And you do notice that it's right near the northern Louisiana border, so we're watching that region closely.
So the whole zone is painted in red, right? We've got the subtropical jet in here, lots of moisture for storms to work with. Those could be severe with hail and wind. We've got the warm front towards North Texas. That's going to allow those storms to spin later on today. That's why there's Torcon values up here at Viv.
And Torcon means it's just short for tornado conditions. So we've been watching this region for the threat, 30–40% chance of tornadoes.
Absolutely. A dangerous zone here across the southern plains. We're going to watch it carefully as storms have the potential, Julie, to go right on through the overnight.
You know we will be here all night keeping everyone updated. All right, back to you, Julie, in the studio.
All right, thank you. You know, Corpus Christi, you were rocked by strong storms earlier that brought strong winds, damaging power poles, also brought 2.5 to 3 inches of rain in a short amount of time. Joining us now on the phone is Kelly Silva. She is from Corpus Christi. Kelly, you sent in some great video. Tell us what exactly you were going through there this afternoon.
Well, the rain started about maybe 1:30. You could hear it. I was driving at the time, and you could hear the pings. I believe it was the hail that was identified. Not ping pong size, but it was maybe about dime size. Had to run inside, and then it was just pure downpour after that. 20 minutes, you know, the streets were completely flooded.
Yeah, we can see that there. And so you took shelter inside. Talk about the winds. How strong were the winds, would you say?
There was a few gusts every so often, but they didn't pick up until maybe the last piece of that storm kind of blew through. It was a little bit stronger than the beginning stages of it, but it was just a few gusts. It wasn't as extreme as what we were hearing on the news.
And have you seen any damage?
There's a lot of, I guess, excess leaves that had from the runoff. A few people lost their trash cans. Those went ahead and floated downstream. They're going to have to be picking those up. But pretty much it's just a lot of what was in the yards and it has just, washed away.
Okay. And I know that you've had a rough week. You had a lot of rain last week as well. Some strong storms there toward the end of last week. So talk about just how people are dealing with all of this very wet weather and the potential for flooding.
Well, it's actually, it's become a nuisance at this point. We went through, a few droughts, really dry weather last spring and summer, and it's become a nuisance. There's nowhere for this water to go, and so it's staying, and then that also brings the mosquitoes, and so it's just it's everywhere. It's so saturated that it's just creating such a nuisance around here.
Okay, and you're in line for the possibility of some more storms both tomorrow and in through Friday. So
correct.
So we want to see how you're preparing for that.
At this point, I mean, in our area, I mean, yeah, the streets, they do become flooded. It has not gotten to the point where it has entered the home yet, but people driving through it, it creates the waves, and yes, it can. It has reached our garage times before. At this point, I mean, if that were to happen, I mean, we're going to have to prepare for the backyard, you know, just kind of blocking it off so our backyard doesn't flood into the back of our house, and then, of course, the garage doesn't, you know, become completely, you know, filled with water.
Kelly, we wish you all the best. I know that's a tough situation to stay ahead of the flooding issues, not let alone the severe weather. So Kelly Silva, thanks a lot for that video and for the interview. All right, we're talking timing now. Let's talk about the storm threat as we move in through not only today, but the next couple of days. Right now, a tornado watch here in Texas. This goes until 10 o'clock local time, including Amarillo and Lubbock. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early. Low 72. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This kind of confidence? At your Ford dealer, that's where. Our expert trained technicians, state-of-the-art technology, and warranted parts keep your vehicle running right. It's no wonder we sold more than 3.5 million tires last year. And during the Big Tire event, get a $120 mail-in rebate on 4 select tires.
$25,000 mornings, give or take, is all we humans get. We spend them on treadmills, we spend them in traffic, and if we get lucky, really lucky, it dawns on us to go spend them in a world where a simple sunrise can still be magic. 25,000 mornings. Make sure some of them are pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
If you misplaced your Discover card, you can now use Freeze It to prevent new purchases on your account in seconds. And once you find it, you can switch it right on again. You're back. Freeze It, only from Discover. Get it at discover.com.
Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
Oh, man. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You got to do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Are you missing out on life because you're putting off neck or back surgery? Call
Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for your MRI review.
There were times my boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. I can't tell you how much happier I am. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-450-BACK for your MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
It's the 1-800-PET-MEDS Calling All Pets sweepstakes and contest, where your dog or cat could be in our next TV commercial. To enter, just go to our website and post your pet photo. While you're there, get the same flea, tick, and heartworm medications as your vet, but for up to 50% less, with fast, free shipping and your satisfaction guaranteed. It's your pet's chance to be on TV. So visit 1-800-PetMeds.com today.
Only Florida's Natural can bring you that straight from the Grove taste. Because Florida's Natural is the only major orange juice brand that's owned by growers and never imported. We bring that straight from the Grove taste from us, the orange juice growers.
Morning, ma'am.
To you, the orange juice lovers. And you can taste it in every glass. Florida's Natural. Great taste, naturally.
Welcome back to the Weather Channel. Taking a live look now in New York City. A burst of rain just came through the area, and we had some reported wind gusts at JFK and Islip of 40 miles per hour. Newark, a gust for you at 35. As you can imagine, travel probably not the greatest there in the Northeast right now. The rough weather we've seen there, plus in Texas, having really big travel impacts. We did a quick check through FlightAware.com, and so far, nearly 1,500 flights have been canceled or delayed going into or out of the country today. Many of those are at key airports in New York and Philadelphia, where we had a 71 mile per hour wind gust. In New York's 3 airports, Philadelphia International, they've seen just over 300 flights so far today. At least 90 flights have been canceled at those 4 airports as well. Well, you cannot let your guard down for tomorrow either. We have another severe weather threat to tell you about, generally in the same areas here, from San Antonio to Dallas, Houston, Baton Rouge over to New Orleans. We're talking about hail, damaging winds, and the possibility of tornadoes. Our Torcon index of 4 for north central and east central Texas. This again is tomorrow. We have the threat today, we have the threat tomorrow, and we have another threat on Friday. So we're tracking all of it for you right here at the Weather Channel. We're going to stay ahead of it for you, Viv.
All right. Well, you know what? The threat of storms may be ramping up, but in the Sierra, the snowpack is virtually gone. Just 5% of where it should be this time of year. That is the lowest level on record. And that lack of snow is having a trickle-down effect, now forcing small businesses into uncertain future. Certainly, as our Dave Malkoff tells us, more in this series, California in Crisis.
Keep going, keep going. Rafting on California's Kern River. We're gonna hit this good. Is normally a multi-million-dollar business. Today,
we are going to be closed for the 2015 season.
Nobody's even picking up the phone.
California drop.
That voice on the line is Darren Nilsson.
I don't think anybody realizes how bad it really is yet.
California's historic drought has dried up his rafting business, his competitors as well. Dry paddles crack in the sun because tourists aren't here. They're not staying at the nearby hotels or sitting in the restaurants.
So there's a whole economy around rafting being affected.
On any normal year, where I'm standing would be a Class 3 whitewater rapid with river rafters roaring right over my head. The river did not arrive this year. The ground is bone dry.
This is about 4 times less what we're normally accustomed to this time of year.
River water comes from the mountains, where snowpack is down some 95% statewide. Hired hands have left behind empty gloves.
I'm a school bus driver. School's out.
Works out.
Ginger, the bus driver, normally shifts into river bus driver mode for the summer.
This year would have been 11 years.
Now, nearly 200 people are out of a job.
This drought has affected everybody.
This one company alone will lose about $300,000 this year.
I have 4 kids. I have kids, I have a wife.
Bills don't stop coming. You still have to pay it. One way or the other, you still have to pay it. If we don't get the snow, the river won't rise.
We truly look forward to serving you again in 2016.
I hate the voicemail we've put on our machine.
Please record your message.
For now, these California dreams will remain stuffed.
This is our storage.
In this unmarked storage locker.
I mean, please let it just be one season. I'm in hibernation mode, and I don't know when I get to wake up again.
But you see, what really scares the folks here is the unknown future. If the river is this low this time next year, it could forever change this valley in a bad way. In Kern County, California, Dave Malkoff, The Weather Channel.
All right, we'll keep you updated on that story for sure. And we have more on the storm threat that will stretch right on into the weekend. That's on the way.
And we want to help keep your family weather safe when tornadoes threaten. If you are in a mobile home, very simply get out. Most tornadoes can destroy even tied down mobile homes. You'll want to get to the nearest sturdy pavement building.
For most people, earning cash back ends here at the purchase. But the City Double Cash Card doesn't end there. It lets you earn cash back when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back twice. It's cash back with a side of cash back. The City Double Cash Card, the only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase, with 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
Jack's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
So much food is going to waste. The scale is pretty shocking.
It goes straight in the garbage. We're wasting 40% of our food. My question, how much of it is still good and can I eat it?
The challenge, to survive for 6 months only on food destined for the dumpster.
Do I have to go dumpster diving on my lunch break?
I'm starting to enjoy this.
And following the film, join Tom Colicchio to learn how together we can stop the waste. Just Eat It, tonight at 10 on MSNBC.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early, low 72. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What's this? A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn out batteries and making them into something strong. Energizer Eco Advanced, world's first long-lasting battery made with 4% recycled batteries.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Simply type in a name and follow the Ancestry leaf far into your family's past. A past filled with stories that intrigue and inspire. And in doing so, reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
Average women's tees versus a gawking gopher.
Duluth Trading Longtail Tees versus a gawking gopher. The Duluth Longtail Tee. 2 extra inches to defend your back end. Get one. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
Look! This is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. That noise! Panera Broth Bowl should be slurped with gusto. To explore further, order online or visit your neighborhood Panera Bread.
Are you a man over 40 and feeling tired, losing muscle, have less romantic drive? Then you need Ageless Male, with an ingredient clinically shown to increase free testosterone levels. Ageless Male is now available at these fine retailers.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do? Drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
New car replacement is just one of the features that comes standard with the base Liberty Mutual policy. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, rates won't go up due to your first accident. Learn more by calling 1-888-380-5644. Switch to Liberty Mutual and you could save up to $423. For a free quote today, call Liberty Mutual Insurance at 1-888-380-5644. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Tomorrow, another day of severe thunderstorms, hail, wind, and even a chance of a tornado. We're tracking the worst weather on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ. We'll see you starting at 5 a.m.
Video of the flooding in Corpus Christi, Texas. The water just covering the roads there, almost halfway up to tires on cars parked in the street. Now, they've gotten 2.5 to 3 inches of rain today, enough to send a trash can floating down the middle of the street. There are also reports of water flowing into a building, some power issues, and they're under a tornado watch until 5 o'clock Central Time. I'm here with Mark Elliott now in the lab. And Mark, we have to keep an eye on Texas for sure.
Yeah.
Seen some crazy storms come through the Northeast today. A lot happening out there.
Yeah, the Southern Plains are really going to take over as the focal point for the rest of the day. This is where we get some of that upper level help for some of these storms. And you can notice that we do have this boundary, right? We have a warm front across the area. It's in the mid to upper 70s for Dallas to Abilene, only 63 in Oklahoma. So south of this front, we have all these southerly winds. North of it, winds moving almost from the northeast, so that adds a little bit of this spin across this area. You can get this kind of extra curlicue, and that's going to help to kick up some of those bigger storms and organized storms later on today.
And you'll notice all of the moisture here to our south, very dry air in between, so that's not good either. We've got the ingredient there coming together.
Absolutely. The dry air can sometimes act like a mini cold front, and we're already seeing storms firing up in portions of New Mexico and West Texas because of that dry air. In fact, the differential heating on that cloud deck could start to kick up storms as well. So because there's clouds, we might get more storms later.
Okay, a couple of tornado watches to talk about. This one expires relatively soon. Nonetheless, we have to watch it.
Absolutely. We had most of these storms rolling off the coast. A lot of this was for that one storm that came through Corpus Christi that you showed us the video from.
Right. And then
this area is really going to take over.
Yeah, till 10 o'clock tonight, the Texas Panhandle all the way over to Wichita Falls, Abilene, right along I-20. So big area.
Yeah, and you know, south of Abilene, we have some storms, but we want to start out closer to that dry air from the desert southwest as big storms have fired up just outside of Amarillo. So here's Amarillo for you. And then a couple counties over, some big storms had some hail and some wind. It's Deaf Smith County still another few minutes until that warning expires.
Okay, and you know, we're talking about not just today, but a multi-day event here. So we can't let our guards down just yet. It's going to be tomorrow and again on Friday.
Yeah, you know, right now south of I-20 seeing some storms, but for today, those two forcing mechanisms combined to give you some big storms towards that cold front. That's where you, that warm front rather. That's where you have that extra spin. So a 40% chance of a tornado, including into tonight. tonight with some of these nocturnal storms in North Texas, and then we can model that out for you as well.
Yeah, and what's concerning about Dallas is it looks like the timing for them may be in the overnight hours tonight.
Yeah, right here, right about midnight, those storms come through and they ride along that cold front. This could sustain itself right on through much of the night, eventually getting into the waterlogged portion of Shreveport and northern Louisiana, maybe flooding as well.
Flooding could be a huge issue. All right, thank you, Mark. Vivian, over to you.
All right, and the threat of severe storms extends right through the end of the week. And our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, has now boosted the tornado threat for Friday. Now, he gives parts of southeast Kansas a 5. That means a 50% chance of tornadoes on Friday within a 50-mile radius of Wichita, Kansas. Much of the same in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and even Shreveport, Louisiana now. You're under the threat of tornadic activity even later today in Shreveport, and we'll be watching you on Friday as well. Here is the setup. We have the jet stream winds pretty much right overhead, and that is just the upper air pattern that's more conducive for the severe storms that could easily spark a little rotation and tornadic activity. So today, tomorrow, right on into Friday, we'll be watching the setup in the upper levels and at the surface now for the severe storms. So damaging winds, hailstones, heavy rain, and tornadic activity. Here is the outlook for Friday, because not only are we talking about Texas and Louisiana, but even extending northward, as mentioned, into parts of Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, even the western parts of Arkansas. So we will be here, of course, right on through the end of the week, keeping you updated. And there you see your 5, meaning a 50% chance of tornadoes. Now, we're tracking all the places at risk for possible tornado activity. In just 60 seconds, Alex Wilson and Dave Swartz will pick things up and keep you ahead of the worst storms. So keep it tuned right here.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Chance of rain, 40%. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 87. Chance of rain, 80%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early, low 72. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Lighting up the night sky, we are expecting even more strong thunderstorms to fire up as the sun goes down tonight. Storms are on the move right now. We've already seen hail, high winds, and we are not done yet. Thanks so much for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. About 20 million people at risk tonight. We'll show you where storms are now and where they'll be right through the weekend.
Storms this afternoon already produced flash flooding in the Corpus Christi area. This is in Texas. The airport officially picked up nearly 2 inches of rain. Some neighborhoods, though, got much more. About 20 seconds into the video, it looks like a trash can floating down the street. Let's look for it. We can there you go. Yep, that looks like somebody's trash can that they're going to have to go looking for. Corpus Christi also got hit by a downburst. That's a big area of cool air from the very heavy rainfall, and that rainfall collapses within the storm. You get that cool air just rushing down towards the surface, and then it hits the ground and spreads out. There are reports of trees and power lines down across the city and the county.
And Texas really is in the zone here for severe thunderstorms tonight. We've got a tornado watch in South Texas till 5 o'clock Central Time, which is yet one more hour. And then up here in Northwest Texas and parts of the Panhandle, a tornado watch till 10. So we're going to be at this for hours, and you can depend on the Weather Channel to keep you one step ahead of all these storms.
And another thing that we've got for you is expert analysis. We want to send it out to the lab. We have storm specialist Mark Elliott in with us today to break down the storm, the threat zones, and what's causing all this severe weather.
Yeah, guys, we're really focusing in now on the southern plains, where the there is a boundary that these storms are going to focus in on as we go through the late afternoon and the evening hours. We can clearly see that using the temperatures across the south. It is warmed. Abilene 81, Dallas moderately warm, 75. Look behind the front though, 64. And one other thing to point out on this map here, we've got the wind streams up, and notice this flow coming right in off the Gulf. Plenty of moisture flowing on in. On the other hand, behind the warm front, we've got this kind of northeast flow, and that allows just a little bit of extra spin to set up along that warm front, and that's why it's going to be such a conveyor belt for those big storms as we go through the rest of the day. We also have all this moisture coming through. We've got the subtropical jet. It's been interacting with that moisture from the Gulf. That's kicked up some big storms today around Corpus Christi, like you were just talking about, as well as near the San Antonio area. Some big storms rolling through there. But further north in our newest warm front, let's start here, because these storms are really packing a punch. We've got Amarillo right here, and just off towards the south and west, it's Deaf Smith County. This storm, a very slow mover, only drifting off towards the east here. We have had reports of hail and wind across this zone. That's why we have this severe thunderstorm warning. It's been reissued a couple of times in that same county. It's just barely drifting on off towards the east for now. We also have just south of I-20, here's Abilene. We've had some storms within Coleman County that have been giving us some severe weather. They have largely drifted on off towards the east. Not too much remaining across that warning. Here's the San Antonio area. South of San Antonio, this storm came through, and my goodness, did it ever pack a punch. Look at the amount of lightning being indicated by the lightning detection network right now. Anywhere that's kind of shaded in yellow in here is where the model thinks this lightning is going to go within the next few minutes. And in just the past 15 minutes, in that red box, over 1,000 strikes. So we've had a highly electrified storm, not to mention there is a severe thunderstorm warning in here as well, just past the Kennedy area, very gusty winds. So B, you are underneath this severe thunderstorm warning. We're also looking back up towards the warm front, but a little further east. Here's Arkansas, here's Louisiana, and right on the border, this storm has started to turn to the right a little bit. It had been moving more west to east, now dipping down towards the south, showing that it's got a little bit of rotation, at least in the updraft itself. That often starts that right turn. No tight rotation there indicating any tornado warning, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning. So those are the areas that we're watching. Along that warm front, plus with all the moisture in central and south Texas, storms there as well. The turning storms further north. That's why we've got a torque of 4 in North Texas, a 40% chance of seeing a tornado within any 50-mile radius. We can also look towards central and east Texas and Louisiana for a chance for some of those tornadoes late tonight as well. There's a 3 on the Torcon scale there. Guys, back to you.
Thank you for keeping us ahead of that. Thanks a lot, Mark.
But the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, one of the areas that could see tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail.
Yeah, let's check in with meteorologist Kate Parker. She's live in Dallas. Pretty quiet there now. Is that right, Kate?
Yeah, things have been pretty quiet here. You know, just off toward our west, just south of Abilene, we do have a severe thunderstorm that we were watching there. And then way up in West Texas, we do have a couple of thunderstorms there, one that's heading south of Amarillo. So that's what's going on in the whole state of Texas, but it's a big state. In the DFW Metroplex, folks are gearing up, you know, for later tonight, because this morning we have a lot of cloud cover. As you can see, that's broken. But if you look way off in the distance, you may notice that we do have a couple of these cumulus clouds that are starting to build again. So we're starting to get some of that building. We've had some clear skies in a few spots that's allowed the instability to increase once again across the Metroplex. What we're concerned about for the DFW Metroplex are these thunderstorms that are going to build and move through later tonight, really after 7 p.m. Now, it all depends on where these initialize, because we have the dry line initialization. Then we have this boundary out of the north that Mark was just talking about. That's something we're really watching, because later tonight we could watch kind of a bunch of storms kind of gel together and move through the Metroplex while you're asleep. They could produce damaging winds. We could see some hail with that, tremendous amounts of lightning downpours. So that's our concern, is that it's not just this afternoon and this evening when you're trying to go out to dinner. It's overnight tonight that you're under the risk of severe weather. There is a Torcon of 4 for the DFW Metroplex and most of North Texas, especially North Central Texas up to the Red River. That's where we're going to see some turning in the atmosphere. We have a little bit of that wind shear. We have the right amount of energy possible in the atmosphere, Dave and Alex. So we've got the ingredients in place. We're just kind of here waiting to see what pops. Back to you.
Thank you, Kate, for that report. We'll be getting back to you later this evening.
We want to show you what we're expecting with these storms for the rest of tonight, and also where. You're wondering, all right, where are those storms going to be? Area shaded in red, that's our best chance zone for the severe weather. And when we look at the Dallas area, it's 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. that we expect the best chance of storms. Main threats, the wind, the hail that Kate mentioned, and those isolated tornadoes.
And heading at I-20 toward the Louisiana line, you're all under it here. Greenwood, watch it. Shreveport, Louisiana, and all the way down toward Alexandria, Louisiana. Houston all in it too. So Texas and Louisiana for now.
And that overnight threat means weather radios, apps, they need to be ready to go if you plan on going to sleep with that chance of storms.
And right here in the Weather Channel.
Right.
Oh man, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
At Fingerhut.com, we got approved to shop with low monthly payments, over 200,000 items with brand names like Samsung, Dyson, DeWalt, and with great family stuff like this Samsung TV.
And even our yoga mats.
All you got to do is click on over to Fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
Right now, save on a wardrobe remix at Men's Warehouse. Select suits are on sale for $179.99. Select jeans, 2 for $100. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Only at Men's Warehouse.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind. I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash
This is perfect.
is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier. Brainstormers, Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 80%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early, low 72. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tomorrow, another day of severe thunderstorms, hail, wind, and even a chance of a tornado. We're tracking the worst weather on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ. We'll see you starting at 5 a.m.
I started my Camry. Ran a race most wouldn't dream of starting. Chose to take down a monster. And realized when it's dark enough, you can see the stars. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Mornings got you a little... Grab the good energy of Quaker Oats, one of nature's most perfect energy sources. It's how we help keep go-getters like you going and getting, one bite at a time. Quaker Up.
The more you learn about your insurance, the more gaps you may find. Like how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Working on
here in my lower back. But now I step on this machine and get my number, which matches my Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. Now I get immediate relief from my foot pain.
My lower back pain. Find a machine at drscholls.com.
We are looking live at a storm chaser driving through parts of Texas right now near the Amarillo area. This is Interstate 27. He is providing live pictures, and obviously as things turn stormy, we will be checking in both hopefully video and by phone with some of the storm chasers that are out there today, as we do have a high threat of tornadoes across parts of Texas, even into Arkansas and Louisiana. We've been telling you about places like Dallas, Shreveport, and into parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. Let's take a look at some of the severe storms that we've got out there now. This is a look into the far northern part of the Texas Panhandle. Deaf Smith County under a severe thunderstorm warning. You're going to be watching for some large hail out of this one. And when we look at hail size and estimate the potential size, 2.4 inches. So we're thinking probably take about 70% of that. So we're thinking between 1.5 inches and 2 inches. So that could get you up towards golf ball or ping pong sized hail. Well above a quarter. That's what you need for a severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning in Coleman County, also into Texas. You can see these storms have been rolling through, and we've got more off towards the west. Another storm down into parts of Bee and Goliad counties. This includes the city of Tulsita. This goes until 4:15 Central Time. You're going to be watching for some very heavy rainfall out of this one. 3-hour rainfall rates have been high. We've already seen flooding issues into areas like Corpus Christi. 2 inches of rain in that area off to the north and west of Kennedy in just 3 hours. Dave.
And Alex, we've had some storms along the East Coast. The total opposite of the kind that you just showed us. Here in Philadelphia, there's still some water on the lens shooting across the Delaware River into the city. And in New York City, we're 57 and cloudy with some rain off in the distance out there in central Jersey. So it is inclement on the East Coast and on the Gulf Coast here in Texas. Here's the cold front that just rumbled through Philadelphia. You know, they had a wind gust of 71 miles per hour 2 hours ago. Now we still have a few showers because it's still unsettled even behind the front. The cold front that brought us those winds moved off the shore of Atlantic City about 45 minutes ago. We had some gusty winds out at the airport and in Absecon, about 45 miles an hour. Baltimore and D.C. have been very windy. The front is just through you right now. Northwesterly winds. It'll cool it off back into the 40s tonight in Philadelphia as the rain comes to an end. Shortly after sunset here tonight, we'll have partly cloudy skies. The front is actually, there's a warm front that stretches up here, and the winds in Massachusetts are routinely gusting to 40 miles an hour right now. And if you're traveling the Mass Pike, east or west, you've got a strong crosswind because the winds ahead of the front are southerly, gusting to 40. So you got to keep both hands on the steering wheel. And these are the storms that blew through Central Park in Brooklyn about an hour ago with winds 45 to 50 miles an hour. They're heading to the east end of Long Island, and the Gansett Bay is going to get some of that here. Hartford's got it right now. And there are some delays at all New York City metropolitan airports right now. Windy, showery tonight here in Boston, then quieting down, cooler, low temperature in the low 40s toward morning. And up here, it's too stable for any severe weather. So Keene and Walpole up toward the Northeast Kingdom, just some showers, not much lightning. Temperatures will be cool. Bangor, same story. Alex, back to you.
You know, the threat of storms in the southern plains is not over or ending today. No, it's going to stick with us through the next several days. Take a look at tomorrow with that upper level disturbance. We've got increasing moisture out of the Gulf. And notice that low level flow out of the south with the mid-level winds out of an opposite direction. We call that change of winds with height shear. So we will have the shear, and we'll also have the energy, the highest available energy. We've actually highlighted in the yellow, and then we overlaid the areas of shear. These are two components that we look at when we're talking about a storm threat, and those areas in both colors, this brownish color, are where we expect the best ingredients for severe weather. Dave.
Any weather nerds in the house? Here's a question for you. Does using a cell phone in a thunderstorm increase your chances of getting hit?
This kind of confidence? At your Ford dealer, that's where. Our expert trained technicians, state-of-the-art technology, and warranted parts keep your vehicle running right. It's no wonder we sold more than 3.5 million tires last year. And during the Big Tire event, get a $120 mail-in rebate on 4 select tires.
Hey neighbor, this weekend only at your neighborhood Ace, buy 1 bag of Scott's Weed and Feed and get Scott's Lawn Food for free. That's a $15.99 value, because getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Think about what would happen if you were gone. Would they struggle to pay the bills and face an uncertain future? They don't have to. You can help guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct. We'll help you get more for your money, up to 70% more. Just look, less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. No wonder millions of people rely on AIG companies. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Make the future more secure for those you love. Call now so you can sleep better at night.
For a free quote, call 1-800-521-0331 or visit AIGDirect.com.
Still paying too much for home phone service? Do the math. Magic Jack costs only $35 a year for unlimited local and long distance calling to the U.S. and Canada. And with the mobile app, get unlimited text messaging.
Unlimited texting for iOS only.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was good.
And if you're watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron, love at first bite. The authentic taste of a brick oven pizza, now available from Red Baron.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
Tomorrow, another day of severe thunderstorms, hail, wind, and even a chance of a tornado. We're tracking the worst weather on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ. We'll see you starting at 5 a.m.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 70. Thursday, partly cloudy with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. High 87. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday night, thunderstorms early. Low 72. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
A tornado watch is in effect for this area of the Texas Panhandle. Storm chaser Ben McMillan is all over it, heading towards some of these storms that could produce a tornado. A tornado watch once again is in effect for the Texas Panhandle. We'll have a look at these storms on radar now and head to South Texas where another tornado watch is in effect. So we've got some active weather right here in the Lone Star State. This area will expand over the next couple of days to include many states in the nation's heartland. Here's a look at the radar on the right. That's the cell that Ben McMillan is on. You can see the warning that is in effect here. This is way out northwest Texas. Take cover if you need to. Here in Smith County, this put down a lot of hail, as indicated by the yellow right in there. That is at least golf ball size, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and when you looked at the regular radar, once you get into those whites on the color, you know, we always talk about red being, you know, meaning really heavy rain. And once you see white, I mean,
so
they're at 3. That's estimating 3. So we're thinking at least over 2. That would be hen egg sized hail?
Yeah, hen egg, almost tennis ball sized hail. There it is. It's a supercell thunderstorm, and that's the white that
I was
you were just talking about there, in the left side of that box. That's where the core of the hail is.
And perhaps we're seeing a little bit of that on the right-hand side of the picture. You can see kind of that darkness heading towards the ground. Really, when he panned over a little more, a little bit of that rain shaft or perhaps that hail shaft.
Well, now here we are in South Texas, where B, Goliad, and Refugio counties are under a warning. We don't see that white here, but undoubtedly there's some hail and could be damaging winds in excess of 58 miles an hour, which defines a severe thunderstorm. Plus, we have the flood warning that's in effect.
And, you know, lightning, a big threat with storms, not only today or tonight, but throughout the week and really throughout the summer.
And we're going to try to keep you safe. We want to give you some information so you can be informed. So here's meteorologist Mike Bettis busting some common lightning myths.
Fact or myth? Lightning always hits the tallest object.
That would be a myth. There's a certain randomness about what lightning strikes. Lightning tends to hit the highest point, but not always. There are many cases where there's something taller in the immediate vicinity, and for whatever reason, lightning doesn't strike it.
Fact or myth? Using electronics like an iPod or a cell phone increases my chances of being struck by lightning.
That's also a myth. A myth that's associated with that is that metal attracts lightning, and metal doesn't attract lightning. Cell phones and iPods have nothing to do with getting struck by lightning.
Fact or myth? Being in a car can protect me in a thunderstorm.
Well, that's mostly a fact. If we're talking about a hard-topped metal vehicle, yes, it will offer you protection.
But that protection doesn't come from the tires.
In reality,